Horror in gaming has come a long way. What started as pixelated monsters and cheap jump scares has evolved into something far more psychological. Enemies that don't just attack you, but haunt you. These are the creatures that made our palms sweat, our heart rate spike, and our controllers almost fly across the room. YouTube, what's good? XhiaGaming here, bringing you a brand new episode of Top 5. In today's episode, we're diving into the top 5 scariest video game enemies of all time. These are the ones that left us genuinely terrified to open the next door, turn that next corner, or even keep playing. So dim the lights, plug in those headphones, and let's get into it. Starting off at number 5, the Clickers, Last of Us. Few enemies have redefined horror quite like the Clickers. These aren't your typical zombies. They're human hosts overtaken by cordyceps fungus, leaving them blind, twitchy, and guided purely by sound. That grotesque fungal bloom where their face used to be? Pure nightmare fuel. What makes them truly terrifying isn't just the way they look, it's the way they move. The frantic jerks, the raspy breathing, and the distinctive clicking noise that echoes through the abandoned hallways. You can't fight them head on unless you've got a shiv, and even then, you're risking everything. Every encounter feels like a high-stakes stealth sequence where one wrong move means instant death. Naughty Dog didn't just design monsters, they designed anxiety incarnate. Next up at number 4, we have Pyramid Head, Silent Hill 2. When it comes to psychological horror, Silent Hill 2 set the standard, and Pyramid Head stands as its most iconic symbol of fear. Towering, silent, and dragging that enormous great knife, Pyramid Head isn't just a monster, he's a manifestation of guilt, punishment, and suffering. You don't just fear him for what he does, you fear what he represents. He appears at the worst possible times, forcing protagonist James Sunderland to confront his darkest truths. The screech of metal as his blade scrapes the ground is instantly recognizable, and every step he takes oozes menace. Even after all these years, Pyramid Head remains one of gaming's most haunting designs. A perfect blend of visual horror and psychological torment that leaves players disturbed long after the credits roll. At the halfway point with number 3, the Xenomorph, Alien Isolation. If you've seen other top 5 videos on the channel or ever played Alien Isolation, you already know there's no escape. The Xenomorph isn't just another enemy, it's the enemy. Completely unscripted and terrifyingly smart. It learns from your behavior, tracks your sounds, and adapts to how you play. You can hide in lockers, crawl through vents, and hold your breath, but the second you slip up, that tail pierces through the door, and it's game over. It's not just about survival, it's about managing your panic. And above all, the sound design deserves special mention. The metallic creaks, the faint hisses, the motion tracker beeping faster and faster. Alien Isolation didn't just recreate Ridley Scott's film atmosphere, it amplified it, turning the act of simply walking down a hallway into a full-blown heart attack. This isn't action horror, it's pure dread, the kind that makes you think twice before moving an inch. Next up at number 2, Mr. X, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil has always been a masterclass in tension, but the RE2 remake gave us something unforgettable. Mr. X. This trenchcoat wearing juggernaut doesn't run, doesn't scream, and doesn't stop. You hear him before you see him. Heavy boots echoing through the police station, getting louder with every passing second. The brilliance of Mr. X is in his unpredictability. You never know where he'll appear. You could be solving a puzzle, checking your inventory, or even walking through a room you thought was safe. And then boom, he's there, forcing you to flee in a panic. And he doesn't just chase you, he controls the entire atmosphere. His presence transformed Raccoon City Police Department from a familiar setting into a claustrophobic nightmare. Capcom knew exactly what they were doing, turning fear into a constant companion that follows you every step of the way. And finally at number 1, the Mimics, Prey. Taking the top spot are the Mimics from Prey. On the surface they don't seem that scary. just small spidery aliens scurrying around the space station. But then you realise that they can shapeshift into anything. A coffee cup, a chair, a medkit. Suddenly, every object in the room is a potential threat. Trust me, the first time a chair jumps at you, you'll never trust furniture again. The Mimic's power lies in psychological horror. It makes you question reality itself. You'll find yourself hesitating before picking up an item, or nervously shooting random props, just to be sure. Arcane Studios managed to weaponize paranoia, creating an enemy that doesn't rely on jump scares or scripted moments. It messes with your mind, and that's why the Mimic earns the title of gaming's scariest enemy. It turns your own curiosity into fear. So there you have it, 5 enemies that redefined what it means to be scared in a video game. Some rely on raw power, others on psychological terror, but they all have one thing in common: they stick with you. What about you? Which video game enemy scared you the most? Was it something from a horror classic, or a totally unexpected moment from another genre? Drop your pick in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this countdown, hit the like button, subscribe for more gaming deep dives, and ring that bell so you don't miss what's next. And until next time, I'll see you later. Tap the bell icon after subscribing and you'll never miss a video again. And consider checking out my Facebook page as well for daily gaming updates and news. Thanks guys. Music in gaming has come a long way, from simple 8-bit bleeps and bloops to full orchestral masterpieces. But some soundtracks aren't just background music, they're the heartbeat of gaming history. These are the tunes that define their eras and still echo through pop culture today.